my name is Nikki. I am 31 and I am a single mother.
A single mother is one who has a dependent child or dependent children and who is widowed, divorced, or unmarried. She parents her child or her children alone without the other parent's support and is responsible for all financial, material, and emotional needs of her children. She is a single mother by death, divorce, separation, abandonment, or even by personal choice.
I was 21 years old when I got pregnant back in 2007, and I was about 4 months along when I got married to my then boyfriend of about 7 years. Long story short, that marriage sadly did not last, and in 2011, when our daughter was just 3 years old, we separated. And then in 2012, I filed for annulment, but till this day, I am still waiting for the court's decision on that. But needless to say, for the past 7 years, I have been raising my daughter as a single mother, and I have not been receiving any financial support or any support whatsoever from my ex-husband.
According to Republic Act 8972, also known as the Solo Parents Welfare Act of 2000, a solo parent is defined as a woman who gives birth as a result of rape and other crimes against chastity, even without a final conviction of the offender, provided that the mother keeps and raises the child. A parent left solo or alone with the responsibility of parenthood due to the following circumstances: death of spouse, spouse is detained or is serving sentence for a criminal conviction of at least 1 year, physical or mental incapacity of spouse as certified by a public medical practitioner, legal separation or de facto separation from spouse for at least 1 year, as long as he or she is entrusted with the custody of the children, declaration of nullity or annulment of marriage as decreed by a court or by a church, as long as he or she is entrusted with the custody of the children, unmarried mother or father who has preferred to keep and rear his or her child alone instead of having others care for them or give them up to a welfare institution, any other person who solely provides parental care and support to a child or children, any family member who assumes the responsibility of head of family as a result of death, abandonment, disappearance, or prolonged absence of the parents or the solo parent. According to the 2008 data from the Philippine Statistics Authority, about 38% of 1.8 million babies, or at least 666,000, had unmarried mothers. At least 13.9 million Filipinos are single parents who carry the burden of raising their families by themselves. And according to a 2015 World's Women's Study by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, single mothers make up more than 3/4 of one-parent households in both developed and developing regions globally. Just last May 2017, as Senator Vicente Soto III was grilling Social Welfare Secretary Judy Taguiwalo, a solo parent, during her confirmation hearing before the Commission on Appointments, he made a snide remark about single mothers being "naano lang," insinuating that all single mothers just got knocked up.
Street language. When you have children and you are single, ang tawag dun naano lang.
Senator Soto, I teach women's studies, so we respect all kinds of families, and that includes
Was he trying to
solo
be
parents.
funny?
Thank you.
He claims it was meant as a joke, but this controversial comment stirred up a barrage of angry reactions, which eventually prompted the senator to issue what I feel was a half-ass apology. Sadly, this show of ignorance and disrespect is just one example of the single mother stigma. Most incidents happen in our day-to-day lives, going unnoticed by the media or by the general public.
It's funny how in a society that claims to be more accepting of people's differences, there still seems to be a stigma towards single mothers. I mean, as if single parenthood isn't hard enough, we constantly have to deal with all the judgment and the misconceptions and all the stereotypes. I mean, being a single mother does not equate a woman to failure. And at this day and age, I think it's high time that all of these distorted perceptions be put to rest.
Single mothers are not accidents. True that more than half of the total registered live births in 2015 were out of wedlock, but let's also recognize that more than half of the single mother population, myself included, is either widowed, annulled, or separated. Single mothers are not immoral. Pause before you cast judgment because you have no idea how she got there. And hey, we are single, which means that yes, we are allowed to date. So long as we're being responsible about it, it's nobody's business but our own how we choose to celebrate our singlehood. And no, that doesn't automatically make us whores. Single mothers do know how to parent. In fact, being both a mother and a father to a child requires some pretty badass parenting skills. We may not be perfect, and we certainly do not have all the answers, but I guarantee you, we can handle things on our own. Single mothers are not always looking for a new baby daddy. Sure, it gets lonely sometimes, but let me tell you, we're not all looking for a knight in shining armor to rescue us and sweep us off our feet. Truth is, you'll find that most single mothers are the most independent and self-sufficient women you'll ever meet. The presence of a new man in our life is really just a bonus. Single mothers are not damaged goods. Think about it. We single-handedly provide all our children's financial, material, and emotional needs while juggling our careers and still somehow maintaining our sense of self. We have found the perfect balance in being both the provider and the nurturer. And if you ask me, I see nothing damaged about that.
When I found out that I was pregnant with Simon, I knew right at that moment that I was going to raise him as a single mother. Because I never really believed in marriage as the solution to the problem, which was my untimely pregnancy. I find it very unfair that society even at this time would still expect the woman to be wedded by the same man who impregnated her just because she is carrying his child. And I have seen this happen among my closest friends who decided to walk down the aisle because she was getting ready to be a mother, only to separate ways less than 5 years after the wedding day. And they would tell me stories about their child or their children, asking them if they were the reason why they were breaking up. And it's heartbreaking that a child as young as 7 or 8 was starting to think that he or she was the reason why his or her parents are breaking up. And I did not want Simon to go through that. So when I told his father that I did not wish to marry him, he readily accepted my decision. And I'm very thankful that he did not even argue or he did not try to contest why I made that choice. The very first struggle that I faced being a single mother was my own father's disappointment because I decided to raise his grandson on my own. He felt that he failed as a parent because his daughter is against the idea of a lifelong partnership in order to provide a sense of a family to his grandson. He thought that, he felt that he did not raise me like this, but it did bother me for a while. And when Simon was born, he started to understand. He figured out why I stick to my decision to not marry. struggle that I faced while being a single parent is that feeling of inadequacy, where I feel like I'm not doing enough. I am not providing enough for my son, and I do not know how to compensate for it. For example, whenever he would ask me why his classmates' parents would attend school activities together, I would start to feel that I am depriving him of what he deserves, which is a normal family by society standards. I think the best advantage of raising my child on my own is knowing that every milestone or every important experience in Simon's life, he shares it with me. It might be a little selfish, but I know that our bond as mother and son could never be replaced, and at the end of the day, he will always choose to be with me. And my advice to all the single parents, especially single mothers, it will be hard. It'll be very hard. And there will be days where self-doubt will get the better of you. But that's fine, because we're all humans and we do get tired. But at the end of the day, our little ones, our little boy, our little girl, they look up to us, and they're worth everything. They're worth everything. They're worth everything.
Alcius and I are just two of the millions and millions of single mothers here in the Philippines and around the globe. We all have our own stories, but the struggles are mostly the same. Single or not, I think a parent's goal remains the same, and that's to be the best parent we could possibly be to our children. As single mothers and single parents in general, I think we deserve the same amount of support, love, and respect as anybody else.